Welcome to the Ad Expert Podcast. When you look at the digital marketing landscape today, it honestly feels a bit like trying to navigate a dense jungle without a map.
Right.
Everyone knows they need to be there. I mean, you need to be online, you have to be visible.
Yeah.
If you're not, you basically don't exist.
Really don't.
But the how of it all just creates this massive sense of overwhelm for so many business owners. It's like, do I go left? Do I go right? And there are quicksand pits everywhere.
It really does feel like that. And the stakes are so high because, unlike a real jungle where a wrong turn might just get you lost for a bit, in digital marketing, every wrong turn costs you actual money.
Oh, yeah.
You can burn through a marketing budget in, days if you aren't watching where you step.
That is the nightmare scenario. And that brings us right to our specific focus for this deep dive. We are going to tackle the beast known as PPC pay-per-click. But we're not just talking about what it is. We are unpacking the really high-stakes decision of how to choose the best PPC management agency. Because, let's be honest, handing over your credit card and your brand to a third party, that is terrifying.
It is. And frankly, it shouldn't be a leap of faith. It should be a calculated decision.
Exactly. A business decision based on data and clear criteria. To guide us through this, to give us that map for the jungle, we are diving into a stack of insights drawn directly from the philosophy and expertise of Ad Expert.
Okay.
For those who don't know, they're a Los Angeles-based online marketing and web development agency. They've got over a decade of experience in the trenches. We've got their history, their service breakdowns, and this really great guide from their founder, Sam Ashrafi, on mastering agency selection.
And what really stands out to me about this source material is the tone. It's not just the sales pitch.
Yeah.
It reads more like a manifesto for doing things the right way. Our mission today is to take all that expertise and just distill it into a mental checklist for you.
Yeah, a checklist. I like that.
So by the end of this, you shouldn't just be looking for someone to push buttons on Google Ads. You should be equipped to find a partner who understands the difference between spending your money and actually investing it.
I love that distinction.
Yeah.
Spending versus investing. It totally changes the mindset from this is a cost to this is an asset.
It does.
So let's set the stage. Why do so many businesses struggle with agencies? Why is there this tension where you hire someone, 3 months go by, and you feel like you've just set a pile of cash on fire?
Well, if you look at the core of the problem, and Ad Expert really highlights this, it almost always boils down to two things.
Okay.
A lack of transparency and a fundamental misalignment of goals. It's the difference between an agency saying, we'll get you clicks, and one saying, we'll build your business.
Okay, let's unpack that. Section 1 of our checklist, alignment and transparency. The source material makes a really strong point that a good agency doesn't just ask for your credit card number right away.
Not at all. They ask for your objectives. And this sounds basic, like Business 101, but you'd be amazed how often it's skipped. The expert advice here is that the strategy has to be customized to your goal. You have to define what winning actually looks like.
So are you looking for lead generation or brand awareness or
direct e-commerce sales? Exactly. Those are three completely different beasts, and they require three different mathematical approaches.
Can you give us an example, how does the actual day-to-day work change?
Sure. Let's say your goal is brand awareness. You might focus on impressions, literally how many eyeballs see your logo. You want to be everywhere casting a wide net.
Okay.
But if you're an e-commerce store selling, say, specialty coffee beans, you don't care about impressions if nobody buys anything. You care about the conversion, the sale.
The bottom line.
Yeah. Ad Expert points out that a generic strategy fails because it doesn't respect these nuances. If an agency runs an awareness campaign when you need sales, you're going to go broke. It's that simple.
That makes so much sense. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. The money. I think every business owner have this deep-seated fear of hidden fees.
It's a valid fear, and it's a major red flag in the industry. The source material is explicit about this. You need a clear cost structure. Transparency is absolutely non-negotiable.
So what's the hard question you need to ask when you're in that meeting?
You have to ask, what is the split? You need to know exactly what portion of your budget is the management fee, the money the agency keeps, and what portion is ad spend, the money that actually goes to Google or Facebook.
Because I've heard of agencies that just bundle that into one number. They say, give us $5,000 a month, and you have no idea if they spent $4,000 on ads or $1,000 on ads.
Exactly. That is the black box model. And if those two numbers are lumped together, you should run.
Run away.
Ad Expert emphasizes this. You must be aware of all potential costs up front. If you don't know the split, you can't calculate your true ROI. You're just flying blind.
Runaway. I like that. Clear advice.
Yeah.
Now, sticking with this first filter, let's talk experience. Everyone claims to be an expert these days. They took a weekend course on Google Ads, and now they're a guru.
That's the danger, right? The low barrier to entry. Anyone can set up a website. But the sources we have really emphasize that it's not enough to just know the interface.
You need a track record.
A proven one. Ad Expert, for example, they highlight their founder, Sam Ashrafi. He has over a decade of experience in both local and e-commerce marketing.
A decade is a lifetime in internet years. I mean, 10 years ago, mobile was barely a thing compared to today.
It really is. And that tenure matters. It means they've seen the landscape shift, they've survived algorithm updates, they have context. So when you're vetting an agency, look for that. Look for case studies. Ask them, have you done this for my specific industry?
Don't be a guinea pig.
Exactly. Unless they're giving you the service for free, do not be the experiment.
Okay, moving on to section 2. We've hired the agency, goals are set, money is clear. What are they actually doing? I think for a lot of people, PPC just seems like picking a bunch of words people type into Google. I sell shoes, so I buy the word shoes.
And that's the fastest way to go bankrupt.
Right.
The difference is all in the nuance. You asked about picking words. Ad Expert calls this keyword research, but they add a critical layer to it: intent.
Intent. Okay, we hear that word a lot. What does that actually mean here?
It means understanding why someone is typing that word. It's not just about finding high-volume keywords. It's about finding high-performing keywords that align with what the user is actually looking for.
Can we get a concrete example of that?
Let's stick with shoes. If you sell high-end Italian leather running shoes for $300, you do not want to pay for clicks from someone searching cheap running shoes.
No, of course not.
Or how to clean running shoes.
Right, because the person searching how to clean isn't buying, and the person searching cheap isn't buying your shoes.
Exactly. The volume might be huge, but the intent is all wrong. One is informational, the other is bargain hunting. You bid on those, you pay for the click, you get 0 sales. You want the person searching for best luxury running shoes size 10.
Lower volume, but sky-high intent to buy.
That's the key. Quality traffic, not just traffic.
Right.
But here's where it gets really interesting, and this was an aha moment for me in the sources. You can have the best ad, the perfect keyword, the right intent, and still fail miserably if you mess up the next step.
The landing page.
The landing page. The source material calls this a critical failure point. Imagine this. You search for red running shoes size 10. You see an ad that says red running shoes size 10 in stock. You click it.
Yeah.
And you're dropped onto a generic homepage with pictures of hiking boots and sandals.
Oh, I hate that. I leave immediately. It feels like I have to do all the work again.
Everyone leaves. That's a bounce. And that's just money down the drain for the advertiser because you still paid for that click.
Yeah.
Ad Expert emphasizes the absolute necessity of custom landing pages. These are specific pages designed for one thing: conversions. And they have to align perfectly with the ad copy.
So the experience is seamless. The ad makes a promise. The landing page delivers on it instantly.
Exactly. And get this. Google knows if your landing page is bad. If people click your ad and immediately leave, Google actually lowers your quality score.
And what does that mean for the business owner?
It means Google charges you more for every single click. You literally pay a penalty for having a bad landing page. So a good agency isn't just buying ads, they are fixing that entire user journey to save you money.
That is a huge takeaway. And this isn't a set it and forget it kind of thing. Right?
If only. The source material is very clear. PPC requires continuous optimization. You have to be monitoring constantly. They mention another key team member, Isan Nabavati, who's an expert in analytics.
Right.
And his whole role highlights that you need a specialized skill set just to stay on top of the trends. You need someone watching the gauges.
Constant vigilance.
All the time.
Yeah.
If you're not optimizing, you're declining.
That leads us perfectly into section 3, the data difference. Because how do you optimize if you don't know what's happening? This is the whole, is this working? Anxiety.
The bird's eye view, yes. And an ad expert proposes a solution for that: live tracking and reporting.
Live tracking. That sounds intense. Is that standard?
It should be, but it often isn't. The old model was you wait for a PDF report at the end of the month that tells you that you wasted thousands of dollars 3 weeks ago.
That's autopsy marketing.
It is autopsy marketing, figuring out the cause of death after the fact. Real-time insights allow for optimization on the fly. If something isn't working on Tuesday morning, you fix it Tuesday afternoon.
That speed seems crucial. What kind of tools are we talking about here?
You're looking at a professional stack, The sources mention Google Analytics, obviously, but also the heavy hitters like SEMrush and RFs. These are for serious data analysis.
And what are they doing with them?
They're refining strategies. They're A/B testing ad copy, running two versions of an ad to see which one works better. They're tracking user behavior. It's data-driven. You're not guessing what customers want. You're looking at the data to see what they actually do.
I noticed the source material also mentions AI. Is that just a buzzword here, or is there real substance to it?
It's definitely more than a buzzword for ad expert. They talk about using AI solutions for customer targeting and personalized marketing campaigns.
So like robots finding our customers.
In a way, think of it more like pattern recognition on steroids. An AI can analyze massive amounts of data way faster than a person can to find patterns. It might notice your customers are most likely to buy on rainy Tuesdays after 6 p.m.
A human would never see that.
Probably not, but the AI does. It helps target the right person at the right time. It's a huge competitive edge. If your agency isn't using these tools, they might be bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Okay, so we've got transparency, mechanics, and data. But let's zoom out. You mentioned Ad Expert is based in Los Angeles. Does geography actually matter in a digital world?
It's a great question. You can hire anyone, anywhere.
Right. I could hire a guy in a basement halfway across the world.
You could, but you might miss out on the local advantage. The expert take here is that, yes, geography matters, specifically for target marketing. Ad Expert, for instance, has deep experience in the LA market.
How does that help?
They understand the local trends. I mean, the competitive landscape in LA is a completely different beast than it is in, say, Omaha.
True.
The way people search, the cultural nuances, it's all different. Local expertise allows for solutions that are optimized for that specific environment.
And it goes beyond just PPC, right? This is where that holistic approach comes in. PPC shouldn't live in a silo.
Exactly. The source material talks about connecting PPC with social media and brand mentions.
Right, because people don't just live on Google. They're on Instagram, they're on LinkedIn.
Precisely. Those platforms should work together. Maybe someone sees your ad on Google, doesn't click, but then sees a brand mention on Instagram later. It reinforces the message.
And there's a connection to the content on the site itself, too. The SEO side of things.
Copywriting and SEO are the foundation. The source talks about using semantic keywords and meeting Google's algorithm requirements. We talked about quality score earlier. Well, if your website content is thin or poorly written, Google penalizes you for that too.
So having a professional copywriter isn't just about sounding poetic. It's about literally saving money on ads.
Absolutely. It's all one big ecosystem. You pull one thread, the whole thing moves.
It really is. Okay, let's get to our final section, relationships and reporting. Because despite all this talk of AI and data and algorithms, you're ultimately hiring people.
The human element. It's
Yeah.
so easy to forget, but it's critical. The sources highlight the importance of the account manager.
The person you actually talk to when things go wrong. Or right.
Exactly. They need to be responsive, proactive, and open. You don't want to be chasing them down for updates. Ad Expert mentions open communication channels as a benchmark. If you email them and don't hear back for 3 days, that's a huge problem.
And when you do talk to them, what are you looking at in the reports? What metrics actually matter?
This is where you separate the amateurs from the pros. The expert advice is to watch out for vanity metrics.
Vanity metrics, like what, just the total number of likes or views?
Exactly. Metrics that look good on a slide but don't actually pay the rent. Oh, look, 10,000 people saw the ad. Great. Did anyone buy anything?
Right.
The focus has to be on CTR, click-through rate, conversion rates, and at the end of the day, ROI, return on investment.
Ad Expert uses the phrase, awesome reporting.
And awesome reporting isn't just a pretty graph. It's a report that answers one question. Did I make money? If an agency is hiding that number or distracting you with fluff, that's a problem.
So we've covered a lot of ground. Let's summarize this. For the listener sitting there with their mental checklist ready to call an agency, what are the big takeaways?
It really boils down to 4 main pillars. First, transparency. Clear costs, you know the split. Second, a focus on conversions, not just clicks, which means custom landing pages and intent-based keywords.
Okay.
Third, real-time data access. Don't settle for stale reports. And fourth, a holistic view that ties it all together with things like local expertise and social media.
And looking at our source material, Ad Expert really positions themselves as the embodiment of all that. You've got the LA base, the 10-plus years of experience, and they're leaning hard into AI and that live tracking.
They really bridge that gap between old school business fundamentals like honesty and relationships and the new school tech requirements like AI and real-time analytics.
It's a compelling package.
Yeah.
It definitely sets a high bar for what businesses should expect. If your current agency isn't doing these things, you should probably be asking why.
And that's the goal of this deep dive. To raise your expectations, you shouldn't have to settle for mediocre marketing.
Before we sign off, I know you always have a final thought for us to chew on. What is it today?
Well, thinking about all this, here's the question I would leave you with. If you looked at your current marketing reports right now, go pull them up. Would you see a list of costs or a roadmap of where your next customer is coming from?
Ooh, that's good. A list of expenses versus a roadmap.
Because if it's just a list of costs, it might be time to reevaluate who's navigating the ship. You aren't paying for a receipt, you're paying for a result.
A roadmap, not a receipt. Love that. Thank you so much for breaking all this down with us.
My pleasure.
And thank you to everyone listening. We hope this helps you navigate that jungle a little bit easier. We'll see you on the next deep dive.
Dicker.